One of the problems that we have when you have a subject come into the studio, you have this preconceived idea of what, how to maybe approach that person, that subject, that athlete. And I've learned that often until they get there, you really don't know what's going to work. In the case of Noel Foreman, a professional volleyball player, she came to the studio, I started out with the standard 3-edge lighting approach that I do with a lot of my athletes. And it wasn't long into that I realized it just really wasn't working. And part of it, I think she was a little bit, maybe not nervous, but it just wasn't quite clicking. And so what I did was, I thought, well, I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna try a different technique to experiment with. And I had thought about taking a bigger modifier, like a 5-foot, or even in this case was a 7-foot octabox, and treat it just like I treat my beauty dish, which is straight overhead, and usually the beauty dish is right over the camera, very close. In this scenario, obviously a 7-footer is going to be probably too high if you put it right over the camera. So I thought, well, I'm going to put it behind me, and I'm going to shoot the light that would come around me. And so immediately I discovered it was absolutely gorgeous light, and I ended up, I think the beauty or the octabox is about maybe 7 feet from the subject. I had her leaning against the wall, just a white wall, and you'll notice in this shot of Noel, you see a little bit of texture around her, and that was achieved by taking a stucco background, an existing background I had, and just very lightly with 2 layers, taking the background layer and the layer of her, making a mask, and just lightly painting in with a brush, soft brush, the background into her image, and not even officially knocking her out. So that's how I achieved that, and it gives a little bit of extra little sort of punch to the whole image. But the first thing I noticed when I brought her in was that I had the light too low. And so the light was blasting around me, and I am blocking a little bit of the light. But there was no shadow on her eyes, nose, lips, and chin. And so I love to build a little bit of depth. And you may want that and like that. In fact, in some of my HDR images, I shoot through a ring light, continuous light, and you get no shadows. It's kind of a fun look. But what I did was I raised that light up behind me until I began to get a little bit of shadow on the nose, the lips, and the chin. And so, and again, that's an artistic decision that you would make and say, I like this or I don't like this. So by raising the light up and down, we'll feather that in, and it's a soft shadow, but it's absolutely gorgeous light. So what we're gonna take is, we're gonna bring a model in, and we're gonna take and shoot a 5-footer. I'm gonna show you what that looks like, a 5-footer behind me, and a 7-footer behind me. And we'll take a look at how that light looks side by side, and give you an idea of sort of the look that I've been achieving with these big sources behind me. All right, we're on set with Amy Rose, our fitness model. I call her fitness model. She's also a beauty fashion model. And we're gonna do a volleyball scenario here, kind of like what we did for Noel. And I've got her leaning against it's a wall, but it's got a white piece of paper on it. And really the reason why I do that is I want this white to bounce back from my modifier light, bounce back, and actually it creates a little bit of a glow on her skin. And I've had a lot of people email me and say, wait, it looks like you're using 3 lights under this scenario. And what's happening is the bounce back from this white paper is causing a little bit of glow on both sides, and it'll actually hit the cheeks a little bit too. So that's what we're gonna do here. And this is just a piece of white seamless. And the reason why I don't have her over on my complete white seamless over there is because she can't lean against that, it'll fall back into it. So just a real simple little setup here. It's kind of the poor man's way of creating a white wall. And we're gonna take and start off with a 5-foot octo, the Westcott octo. And I'm gonna show you what that looks like. And the picture that we have that I've showed you of Noel is with a 7-foot. So obviously, as we know, the bigger the source, the softer light. The 7-foot's gonna be a little softer. So the first thing I wanna know is, when I set up and shoot my first shot is where are the shadows sort of coming on to Amy's face. So I'll look through on my viewfinder and I'll watch and I'll see a little shadow on her nose, a little shadow under her lips, and a little shadow under her chin, and a little bit in her eyes. So I'm going to do some scenarios with it down low, and then I'm going to raise it up and show you the difference. And it depends on everyone's face. Everyone's face is a little different. And so where you position that depends on two things: your subject and what you like as an artist. So let's get started. And we're going to photograph Amy here from about just the kneecaps up, okay? So let's get it focused here and fire one off. And so the first thing I'm looking for here again is where does those shadows lie? And there actually is not a bad amount of shadow around her chin. It gives some definition. And I see she's got her chin up a little bit, which she looks great when she just lifts her chin up just slightly. But I will raise the light. Let's take it and raise the light here. And I'll show you what it looks like with it. We'll go maybe a foot or so and take a look at the two. The difference between the two. All right, so here's another same angle, same everything. Chin up a little bit so we just kind of get the same thing. All right, so immediately I can see there is a lot more shadow, and actually it looks kind of cool. Again, it's a decision that you make as an artist and what you're looking for. Let's try one. I'm going to go raise it a little bit right there. That looks good. Oh, these look good. Swing that ball out a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, right there. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. And you can watch how Amy, every time I fire it off, she's going to move just a little bit. And then she's going to move again. I'm just going to follow her. And this is really because she's got a lot of experience modeling, and she's very confident with what she's doing. And really, it's a little rhythm that takes place. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So we've got a good series there. So now let's do and we're going to put on the 7-foot octo. All right, so now I've put on the 7-foot octo. Keep in mind that you can also do this with the big, Westcott's got a big 7-foot umbrella. I think it's 84 inches or something like that. And with a diffusion panel, they have a diffusion panel that you can put on the front of the umbrella. So it acts very similar to this. So the octos are gonna probably function a little better over time in terms of wear and tear. The umbrellas is a good purchase for the amount of money that you pay. I don't know exact cost, but it's not a whole lot. But it'll give you the same look, the same feel that we're gonna get here. Big, huge light source. So let's take a look at what this looks like with the 7-footer. All right, Amy, right there. Okay, I'm gonna take a look here. And so this is a lot flatter in terms of and softer. And so let's get one with your chin up like you had before, okay? Right there, and I'm gonna take a look at that. And then, maybe not quite that high, let's go a little bit in between, just in between, a little right there, okay? And then what I wanna do is, let's raise this up. Let me shoot one more, right there, beautiful. Now let's raise this up. And then we'll get a little bit more shadow underneath your chin, your lips, nose, and eyes. Okay? Now I'm all the way to my ceiling, which is probably about, I don't know, 10.5 feet, 11 feet. All right, so ready? Here we go again. All right, take a look. Oh, this looks amazing. I personally like this look better. With a little more shadow. Still has that soft overall look. Beautiful, right there. Now do this, drop that ball down a little bit on your hip. So it's about the same, only just a little bit right there. Beautiful. I love it. Yeah. Whoops, too fast. All right, we got some great stuff there. So, basically now you'll get a chance to see what the two modifiers look like. We are about, I backed it up maybe a foot from what the 5-footer was, but just so I can get in here a little bit more. But pretty much they were about the same distance from the subject. And this will give you an idea what about, let's say that's about 5 feet, maybe at the most 6 from our subject. And then you guys can try this later. Again, keep in mind that if you don't have the resources to get the octo, you can do the same thing with an umbrella. All right, so what I want you guys to do is, as an assignment, try and get yourself a subject, a sports scenario subject. And again, volleyball is a pretty easy one to put together. And then try this with on a white background. And again, you don't have to have a lot of expense here, just a piece of paper. Or even a white wall. If you have a white wall that is already painted, you can just lean someone against it. And take that big modifier and do the example where you take and shoot it kind of a little bit lower and a little bit higher and see the difference.
Special thanks to FJ Westcott for keeping this episode lit up. Like the music? Special thanks to Triple Scoop Music. Frame Network giveaways are brought to you by B&H. Head to giveaways.framenetwork.com for your chance to win. Find out more about the equipment used in this episode on framenetwork.com.